Hello again. The Patriotic Alliance is on a mission to change the living conditions of people in the Central Karoo. The party was tabling its plans today during a media briefing.
The mayor has indicated that there are projects that he would like to do. As a human being, he feels that the conditions that the people of the Central Karoo are living under do not warrant for him to wait for government to do something. The issue of the toilets, where the bucket system is still being used, is a legacy of apartheid. That was then taken over by the DA when it was governing in that area. The ANC also took over in that area, and none of them have fixed this problem. You will remember that there's a video that made rounds where I cursed the ANC because of the houses that were built with one door and one window. I must also add that those houses, as they were built, they were not also partitioned inside. It is just a shell where parents have to divide bedrooms using curtains and blankets. The president has then instructed me, as the deputy president, but instructed me as his friend to make sure that I raise money, first of all, to assist the district mayor to help the people of Central Karoo by fixing the bucket system.
Now, it's been a busy week, of course, as I've just said, for the Patriotic Alliance. You just saw Kenny Kunene there, and not necessarily a good thing. Two of its members, Brenden, Owies and Christo, Boks, have defected to the DA. That's after a fallout between the two parties, resulting now in the Patriotic Alliance pulling out of two municipalities in the Western Cape. The party, of course, there was briefing the media earlier, as I said, and Slindile Masigane, my colleague, the reporter, was there, but she's back now in the studio. We just saw him there. That's Kenny Kunene of the Patriotic Alliance, Slindile, explaining about what's happening in the Karoo. But there's a lot of stuff going with Patriotic Alliance. I mean, in some municipalities after local government elections, they've sort of emerged like some kind of kingmakers here and there, holding the balance of power or balance of forces, so to speak, as they say in politics. So tell us other stuff that came out today from this. I mean, now they've had some defectees.
I mean, the last local government elections, like you've pointed out, Brenden, has been quite positive for the Patriotic Alliance. They've gained a lot of supporters, and in fact are essential in a lot of the coalitions we're seeing in the Western Cape, the Northern Cape, Gauteng, as well as the Northwest. Now, they flagged some issues in the Western Cape, where in their press briefing today they've accused the Democratic Alliance for trying to oust the mayor of the Central Karoo, Gayton McKenzie, which is why they say they have decided to pull out of the two municipalities in the Western Cape. They also noted that they're having some issues in Gauteng as well as the Northwest, in particular the JB Marks municipality as well as the Westrand municipality. Now, what we were actually expecting to hear from them today was them possibly actually pulling out once more out of those coalitions, but it seems that there are some interventions that have taken place, some talks that have taken place within leaders within the ANC as well as the PA to try and salvage the situations within these municipalities. Let's take a listen.
There was an intervention by one of the leaders in the ANC who has requested that we meet and we address these issues. At this press conference, I was supposed to announce our withdrawal in JB Marks and also in Randwest. However, because of this intervention by leader Panyaza Lisufi and the province of Gauteng, we are going to give those interventions a chance and have a meeting with them so that we can see if the situation will be remedied. In as much as we want to keep the coalitions orderly and safe for the next 5 years, we will not do that at the cost of the people that voted for us.
Well, Slindile, I understand he also referred to some challenges that the party is facing. I mean, Patriotic Alliance is not a big party, but it's become a very key player in those municipalities, in some of those provinces, as you mentioned earlier. What are their problems?
Well, in terms of these coalitions, you know that you need all parties involved to be consulted on when there are big decisions to be made, if budgets are going to be passed. Every political party within that coalition is central to any kind of decision making in that municipality. So what they're flagging in terms of the issues they're having at the JB Boks municipality and the Rand West municipality is the fact that it seems that the ANC is just they think this coalition is just merely something on paper. They don't believe that they need to consult the PA on many of the decisions, and the PA is taking a firm stance to say we need to be consulted when it comes to decision making. So let's just take a listen.
However, there are challenges here in Gauteng and in the Northwest, especially in JB Boks. We are in a very fragile coalition partnership with the ANC at JB Boks municipality. And here in Gauteng, the West Rand municipality, we are also very fragile. And this comes because of lack of consultation, lack of communication. Our MMCs there are made spectators when they are there to service our people.
You know, I just remembered after that question, and I was smiling there off air thinking, around November last year, I mean, I was one of the guilty parties, talk about small parties of the elections, and I was reminded by some of them, no, we're small maybe in size, but in a coalition, in a metro, we're an equal partner to any other political party that chooses to bring us into that coalition. So now, there are new members who are joining the Patriotic Alliance, I understand. They've lost some to the DA, but they're gaining others.
Oh, yes, they've gained a couple of members from different political parties. In fact, today we saw the announcement of 3 members of Action SA who have now turned to the Patriotic Alliance. We saw 2 members from an organization called South Africa First who have also decided to join the Patriotic Alliance. But the most interesting one, I think, is Bonginkosi Khanyile, who is a former ANC member, a former EFF member, and now the newest member of the Patriotic Alliance. You would remember he's also, he was quite popular back in the Fees Must Fall movement, one of the leaders. He's also facing some court battles in terms of the July unrest, being alleged to be an instigator of the violence. So it's quite interesting to see his move now, leaving the EFF and now joining the PA.
Yeah, he's moving around, this Bonginkosi.
Look,
hopefully he's finding a home now.
This is a democracy.
No,
I think that's one of the most interesting things about our democracy is that at any given point you feel unhappy in one political home, you are more than welcome to find a new one.
But some people will say, well, what happened to your ideology? What are your principles? What do you stand for,
I even asked him to say, look, what is it about the PA that stands out for you? And he believes that this is a party of action that is actually less talk and actually on the ground trying to service the people. So
which party was he before?
The EFF.
Okay, thank you very much for that update about the Patriotic Alliance and the latest developments. That's a reporter Slindile Masikane. Still ahead.